Hey guys, T-Boliv here, and today wanted to give you guys a quick peek and show you some gameplay footage from the soon-to-be released. I don't know if it's coming Wednesday or Thursday this week, but soon-to-be released Tier 8 premium German battleship, the Odin. And I say that because it is classed as a battleship. But it is armed with 305 millimeter main guns, as compared to Bismarck and Tirpitz, the other two Tier 8 German battleships with their 380 millimeter main guns. So these are considerably smaller. They are still battleship caliber guns. I know we've talked about this with some of the 305 millimeter gun armed cruisers in tier 9 and 10. Yes, they are battleship guns. They are like tier 4 or tier 5 battleship guns. So I mean, it's armed like a battle cruiser, at least as far as the main guns go, which is, you know, how those boats typically get classed. It's armored pretty well, though, at least in Blitz. I was tanking a fair bit of damage when I played my games in it yesterday. I only had time to run 5, and so it's a relatively small sample, but I was really impressed with it. It was a lot of fun, and I can't wait until it comes out because I will be picking one up for myself. I did get confirmation from Wargaming it is coming out in a bundle, so it will be available to purchase in the shop. So I thought I'd give you guys a quick rundown, as usual, on some of the stats on it. The commander I used in the build, the way I set it up, and why, and then I've got a couple of games to show you. Neither of the games are anything stellar damage-wise, but both of them, I think, showed what the boat can do pretty well, and I was pretty happy with them. I was pretty happy with all 5 of the games. I never, in all of the testing or playing to get footage like I've done in the past, have I ever had 5 straight MVPs. Odin did that for me yesterday, and I was even playing with, you know, a couple of guys who I played with pretty regularly and are very good players. So I was pretty impressed by that. So I think it has more to do with the boat than me, but who knows. Anyways, so Odin, Tier 8 German battleship. Main guns, you can see we've got 2 up front, 1 on the back. As mentioned, they are 305 millimeter. Manual secondaries, you got 1 up front, 1 on the back. They're 150 millimeter, pretty typical for the Germans. And then autos, you can see there's 3 pairs per side on the auto secondaries. They're 128 millimeter. And they are a lot of fun. Let's just look at this. So for skills, you get sonar 2, you get precise aim 2, you do get 3 of the precise aims. This is actually pretty accurate for a German battleship. Health pool is very low, which kind of makes sense if it's supposed to be a battle cruiser, but I mean, it's definitely lower than some of the other tier 8 premiums of other nations, definitely compared to Tirpitz and Bismarck. But still was a lot of fun. 30 knots, didn't feel too slow when I was running it. 18-second reload time, which is not too shabby. Range was decent, 13.6. HE damage is really underwhelming at 743. I don't think I shot HE out of the main guns at all. I think even shooting at destroyers, I think I was still shooting AP, and I was overpenning, but I wasn't losing that much damage, I don't think. Secondary guns, like I said, 150 millimeter, so I think 5.9 inch. Reload time 7.38. These are not stock numbers. A lot of times when I show you guys the boat, I strip it down. I'm just going to show you how I built it, and hopefully you'll see why when you see this. But almost 7.6 kilometer range, 590 damage is decent for your secondaries. The only downside is there's only 6 of them. Autos, you get just over 4-second reload. 6.83 kilometer range on your auto secondaries is a lot of fun. And then just to make it even better, the Odin does get torpedoes. with a 6.9 kilometer range, which is really long for a German boat. So AA is nothing to get too excited about. I was shooting some planes down, almost got a clear skies in one of my games yesterday, which I was pretty impressed by. But the AA, as typical for German ships or German battleships, is not anything to get super excited about. Camouflage, pretty typical. Bonuses there. It's not a bad looking camo, I don't think. Let's see. Not a bad looking boat. Elite bonuses. Improved main armor belt, but realistically, secondary gun specialization I think is the only real option here. I mean, the improved armor belt, yeah, it's definitely got some benefits, but cutting my reload time by 10% on both the manual and the auto secondaries. Yes, please. Captain build, I did use Franz von Hipper, and I do recommend doing so if you've got him, just because it's I know a lot of people really like him on the Z52, and for good reason with the Sixth Sense skill, but some of his skills are really meant for battleships, so including the increased APCS. I did take Citadel Strike. Horizontal Protection Expert might be a second choice and might be okay, but I did like Citadel Strike, and I think I got Citadels multiple in all but one of my games. So again, only 5, small sample size, but still I was pretty impressed by that. So compartment maintenance, close quarters combat expert plus, because you do get the improved dispersion to both your secondaries and your autos, and that's just really, really cool. Marksman plus to buff that precise aim that you already get. Take an extra one there. Reduce the fire, sonar skill duration, Sixth Sense, high alert. Yeah, the times that I lose guns that I need and don't have a repair kit handy are a lot less. I'll take the extra sonar, but you can make the argument there. And a regular captain, assuming, if you don't have Hipper, I'm gonna build pretty much the same way. Obviously Sixth Sense isn't available, so I'd probably take Victorious Charge on that one. Otherwise, I'm gonna build a regular captain the same way. Hipper's just kind of OP in this case. So equipment. Now, you could run dispersion. I don't think it's necessary, especially with precise aim. Secondary battery mod, getting an extra 10% to both my manual and my auto secondaries, plus another 10% to the dispersion. Remember that Hipper is going to give us 20%. We're getting another 10% here. And you'll see where the benefit to this really did come into play in a couple of those games. Acceleration and steering. Anybody who's watched one of my builds before knows that I run that on pretty much everything. I still think it's the best option. So, does this thing have battle honors? It sure does. I didn't even look. Played 10 battles. As you can see, I only played 5. And destroy 2 kills. Doesn't have to be anything specific. 2 kills in one game, 4 steel. Not a bad deal. Yeah, I think that's everything that I wanted to show you here. So let's go ahead and jump over into some gameplay. Alright, so first game was actually my lowest damage, but my most kills. Don't look at me like that. I still put up 50k. Okay, it wasn't a great game, but it was a decent amount of damage. And had I not gotten YOLO rushed by this Fletcher right first thing at the beginning of the battle, then things probably would have ended up differently. But as it was my first Citadel. It was a shot on the Martel that I snapped off. Lucky hit. Anyways, that Fletcher is in that smoke cloud, and somebody's pinging him. And I know he's there. I'm backing away. And you can see the secondaries are already lighting him up. I thought about dropping some torps, but he was not turning the way I thought he was, and I didn't want to turn in order to get them aimed at him, so I decided just to let it go. Good dispersion on the secondaries. Unfortunately, apparently the gunners don't know how to lead a target coming towards you, so again, trying to see if I can get some torpedoes off at him, but I'm pulling him into me, and he's gonna totally potato. Yeah, so he pretty much potatoed that one. I did get some help from Lost in the Vanguard. Thanks again, buddy. Appreciate that. But for the most part, he just... New boat focus is real. What can I say? Unfortunately, backing up the way I did kind of pull me back out of range. So kicking it back into gear and pushing back up to support and help my team. There's the other destroyer. I don't know why, but the games that we had yesterday, I killed quite a few destroyers. I don't know why I was doing it, but it is what it is. So Monarch stopped, full broadside, popped the precise aim, fired. 2 hits, a little disappointing. I was really disappointed with that salvo. I don't know that Bismarck or Tirpitz would have done any better at that range. You know, Amagi would have, absolutely. Key, definitely. And that salvo also was really disappointing. I remember telling Lost, I got him, and fired and got a good number of hits, but a couple of them were bounces, a couple of them were quarter pens, and left him on a sliver of health. So in hindsight, that would have been my Kraken, but that's all right. No. Pushing up. Hipper, I don't know. Hipper was trying to torp. I don't know if he was dropped the torps to try to get him to turn a certain way or what, but I thought that was a little strange. So Martel's getting low. He's in a turn, so I tried to lead him a little bit, and I turned away from him because I figured either A, I was going to get the hits and kill him, or I was going to totally miss and somebody else is going to finish him up. So I fired that salvo off at him and then started turning to position myself so that I could get shots effectively against the Tirpitz, who I honestly thought was AFK until he started shooting back at me. So, you know, at this point, I kind of am YOLOing towards the Tirpitz, mostly just because we've got the game locked up. And my damage was a lot lower than I wanted it to be, so I was pushing forward, trying to get into secondary range. And you can see as I'm firing off here, secondaries are going, auto secondaries are going. And yeah, he rocked me there pretty bad. So, but we did manage to pick up the kill. And I didn't think there was any way I was going to get back around to that last battleship in time, but figured what the hell, might as well try. Knowing that one of our battleships was back there and the destroyer was on him, I didn't think I'd get in range of him in time. But Odin surprised me. You can see we're pushing just over 31 knots. And we're going to see if we can get back over here in time. I mean, if you were paying attention, obviously you know what's going to happen, but either way. Bismarck's got a lot more health than I expected him to have, but as you can see, Monster Man is pushing on him hard. I decided to go ahead and use a heal, just because he did have more health than I thought he was going to, and wanted to give myself best opportunity to survive the engagement. Clipped the edge of the island with one of the shells, but 3 out of 8. Yeah, that's not very good. So the dispersion's a little trollish from time to time. I still think that the secondary dispersion is definitely the way to go, because you do have the precise aim for the main guns. Another Citadel there managed to pick up that 4th kill and put us right about 50k. This game was I think the last one that we played, or second to last. And as usual, I'm going to go ahead and park my battleship inside the circle, because caps win maps. Trying to turn angle myself, get all my guns on that Amagi, and slip right into the edge of the cap here. And it was right about this time, as I'm sizing up that Amalfi for my next salvo, that my auto secondaries, I noticed, were firing off of the right side of my ship, which concerned me a little bit. And this is one of the cool things about having that range on those auto secondaries was I didn't know that ACAT was over there. And if I hadn't been careful or known about him, he would have put me on that. Carrier showing me some love. Managed to take those, and it hurt a little bit more than I would have liked it to, but it is what it is. Trying to get back to the cap and make sure that we hold on to that.
We hit the enemy.
Because once again, for those of you listening, caps win maps. And trying to help, I know there's bigger boats on the other side of the island, but here I can use the island as cover from them, and I can focus on these guys to help my Kagero out, so that he doesn't get double teamed. And taking advantage of those long-range secondaries, working over the destroyers. I told you I was going to see a lot of destroyer action in this thing. I was pretty pleased with the secondary dispersion and the range. Just kill number 1. And I remember at this point, Lost had pulled up there next to me, and I said, hey, you're on that side, deal with that destroyer, I'm going to go play with these other guys.
Enemy torpedo spotted.
I was going to, right then, I thought about pushing back forward around the island, and then the torpedo warning popped up, and it's like, nope, we're going this way. So, managed to miss those. Amagi's low on health. Apparently Lost decided he didn't want to play with the destroyer. Unloaded some HE at the Amagi. Had that work out for you, buddy.
Good job.
So, time to push forward again. Take a couple shots, no big deal. I think the worst situation I got into, and I kind of did it just because I wanted to see how it would handle it, was I pretty much YOLO'd into a semicircle of like 3 battleships and a cruiser. And it definitely did not end well for me. And I didn't manage to pull any kills out of that engagement, but I did rack up some pretty serious damage between main gun secondaries and launching torpedoes off of both sides. So, the 305s are perfect against carriers, and you guys know my feelings. The carrier's in range, shoot it. Give him something to think about. Punish him for being a carrier and making my life miserable otherwise. So, put down that Amagi who had been low on health, and really wanted to finish that Lexington off. Unfortunately,
locked on.
I should have held my fire when I saw those shells about to land, but I didn't. So, that was a waste. Thankfully, the main guns don't reload very slowly, so by the time that happened, I'm pushing into position against this Tirpitz. I should have started turning a little bit sooner, just because the Tirpitz does have torpedoes as well, and he could have been coming after me. My own Tirpitz, I don't know what he was doing the rest of the game, but managed to pop a salvo off just in time to secure that kill for us. This guy. And so now there's one destroyer who's way on the other side of the map, and I don't think I'm ever going to get back to him. And this last Bismarck, who's still fairly healthy, so decided to try to farm him and get as much as I could off of him before the fight ended. That's going to be a good salvo. 8 out of 9. I'll take that. The range was close, so you'd expect it to be good. Precise aim was running, so yeah. Carrier's dropping some torps. Squeeze off another salvo before our precise aim ends.
We hit the enemy.
9 out of 10. Some low rolls in there, but overall
Our team
the
is about to win.
salvo was still fairly decent. So, anyways, that's about it, guys. Hopefully, this shows you what Odin looks like when it's in battle. You know, I think with some more games, I definitely would have seen some higher scores. I know some of the other community contributors have put up some monster games, so it's definitely possible. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll see you next time. See you out there.